those of you that don't know me, I am Laura. I'm Creative Director for Ivy House. I'm going to be your host for today. Today's event is called Modern Leadership, the Human Factor, and it is a topic we are super passionate about. We are joined by Vanessa Palmer. Vanessa is the Director of People Development and Learning at L'Oreal. Vanessa,
Yep,
can you tell people a bit about you, your background, and why this topic matters so much to you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa. I've been at L'Oreal for 25 years. I've held a number of different positions, and I've been the People Development and Learning Director for nearly 7 years now. I think it's interesting. I would say the pace of change will probably never be as slow as it is right now. So it's only going to get faster and faster. And I think with that, that brings a lot of challenges to businesses in terms of how they adapt. And the leaders also then have to adapt. So I think that's why it's a really critical topic, because they need support and they need guidance, and the company needs to have a view of what that looks like as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Vanessa. We are also joined by our very own CEO, Natalie Benjamin. Nat, can you give a brief intro to you and why this matters to you?
I am a performance coach and a leadership consultant. I've been working in this space for the best part of 20 years now. I've always been fascinated by what makes people tick, so what it takes to perform at high levels over long periods of time. And I am CEO of Ivy House, so a lot of my day job is leading as well, so working with the leaders and then leading.
Thank you both. I feel excited already. So in terms of L'Oreal, what changes have you noticed in leadership and how are you navigating them?
I think the expectations of our leaders has now changed. So 20 years ago, I think our structure was quite hierarchical. So we had some powerful people in the top telling everybody to do what to do. And I think that's really evolved. And now we're very much all about developing modern and empathetic and influential leaders. And I think the other shift for us when I joined the organisation, a lot of the leaders were clearly really, really successful business people. But actually, when it came to the people aspect, they were in some cases quite woeful. And that has now stopped. And that was a really, really important shift. And now I think it's very much seen more that being a leader is a privilege, because it's the most important role in the entire organisation. But we need to make sure that fundamentally people have the leadership skills to be able to lead their people and inspire and set a vision and be agile, etc. How we have adapted in terms of our leadership offer, it's a lot more varied. So I think 15 years ago, even maybe 10 years ago, we were very structured. When you started managing, you went on a 3-day course, and then when your team got a bit bigger, you went on another one. But actually now what we feel the leadership pathway needs to be is continuous, varied, and the starting point needs to be knowing themselves and their values. That has to be where it begins. And as much as I don't want, you've been very clear with me not to make this into an Ivy House sales pitch, so I won't. But I do think that's something that Ivy House do really, really well. When I talk to the people who have been on the masterclass, it really strikes them how much depth they go into to understand themselves and their values and how they want to be as a leader. Because until you've kind of done that foundational work, it's very, very hard to then build on them as a leader moving forward.
Well, Natalie, you've obviously worked with lots of organisations. This is exactly the work you do. Is there anything you'd add?
Do you know, I've been playing around with this term modern leadership and future fit leadership, and what are the sort of skills and capabilities people need to be future fit? What is the condition we need to be in to be ready for anything? And it's the condition of being strong and healthy. So then it's made me think, and lots of the work I'm doing at the moment is, what does it mean to be strong and healthy as a leader? And the strong and healthy aspect of leadership for me is all that core stuff. And we talk a lot at Ivy House, don't we, about mindset. So what is the mindset you need to bring as a leader? A conscious mindset, how you use your thoughts for you, not against you. An ownership mindset, you're in control of your own behaviours. You can't affect what others do. You can control the controllables. We all know there's the what of leadership, the vision and the plan, but the how of leadership, how you choose to do the job of leadership through human beings, enabling people to be at their best. That is future fit. That is the core of future fit leadership.
What we obviously hear from leaders is they're juggling a lot right now. So in your experience, what is the most valuable mindset shift that a person can have when it comes to modern leadership, like the role of leaders today?
The word I really like, and I read this recently, is the role of the leader now is to be a facilitator. So they set a vision, and then they are a facilitator within the team. They work within the team. They're not in a glass box somewhere. They are sitting in the heart of the team, supporting the team to achieve the ambitions and ensuring that as well their team grows, both personally and professionally, from the experiences that they have. So it's about, I think now, asking the team the right questions, offering the right insight to them, being very generous with their network, facilitating in terms of recommending areas to investigate, as opposed to telling people how to get the job done.
Yeah, what you're talking about is the leader as coach, right? The ability
Yes.
to ask the right questions, notice, provide feedback. You don't have to do the job yourself. You need to help somebody notice things.
Yeah, and help them get to the right answer themselves. So it's about having the right amount of knowledge, but you couldn't be an expert in all of it. You'd keel over.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've obviously talked a lot about mindset and the shift that's required there. Skills and capabilities is the big question. Natalie, what skills and capabilities do our leaders need?
Most of the conversations I have with wonderful clients and teams I'm working with is about trying to identify what are the differentiated skills required in that specific context. So what will enable high performance in the context and the culture that you're operating in at the moment? It might be that the organisation needs to focus on digital and data, and then there'll be a set of skills there. So yeah, our position, my position is develop the skills and capabilities that will have the biggest difference on your organisation in the context it's operating in now.
Yeah, we have just launched, we're just entering into being a skills-based approach organisation, which is really exciting. And I think for us, a skill is something that can be acquired and developed. And we also talk about strengths, which are innate and they don't really change over the course of someone's career. So as an example, a strength would be an achiever and a skill would be training facilitation, as an example. We have now, at a global level, we've mapped skills against every single role in the organisation. So every role has got up to 15 skills, which have been mapped and almost sent to them. So it allows now, everybody's got a view of the skills, either functional or leadership, that we expect them to be mastering. The skills-based approach means that people can be intentional, to use that word again, about their own personal development. So I think for the employee, I think it's brilliant because now they are super clear on our expectations and where they need to develop themselves for their roles.
So in terms of your advice to everyone watching today on how they future-proof their teams, what would you say?
So I think, obviously, my first one has to be that we need to prepare our leaders to lead change, because change is not going to go away. And the leaders need to help their teams cope with it. The second one, to steal a phrase from L'Oreal, which I love, is allowing people to have freedom within a frame. So the role of the leader is to set the vision and to set the framework, but then within that framework, allow the team members to have freedom as to how they meet that goal. And it goes back again to the point that we've moved away from command and control. So this is where you need to get to. And these are the bits that are really important. But underneath, there's all kinds of ways that you can get there. And then the third point, which I feel very strongly about, is the point around the leader's role in inclusivity. And for us at L'Oreal, inclusivity is as simple as being a welcoming organisation. Because we believe if we welcome people, no matter what their background and no matter what their characteristics, if everybody in the organisation feels welcomed, then the DEI statistics will come. But also the harder part is hiring people that aren't like you. And it's so easy to think, well, I know I can get on really well with that person because they think just like me. And that person actually went to the same university as me. So we've got loads in common. So I'll definitely hire that person. And you have to step out of that. And it's a much harder path, but it brings the diversity of thought and the different ideas. But the role the leader plays in that, to bring that melting pot together to a place where they can be high functioning and high performing, is really, really critical.
Fascinating, isn't it? You said you feel strongly about that. I notice I feel really strongly as we go through this conversation, because it's an emotive subject. So I'm conscious that people might want to pick this up separately with us. This is what we do, you know, creating future fit and modern human leaders. This is what we support L'Oreal with. We're pretty good at it. So we've won 19 awards in the last 3 years. We've got the best NPS in the market, and it's about creating learning that equips people for the reality of leading. So we have more extraordinary leaders, and helping those people to live extraordinary lives. That really matters. We have one life. You talked about this, Vanessa, and the work we do is actually the most common word people use to describe our programmes is life-changing. Thank you for making the time to join us. It's been an amazing conversation, and enjoy the rest of your day.